Hey, LABUBU is everywhere, so I thought, why not making my own freaky little version, using tufting and clay. The process is super fun, and the best part, you can totally make one too. First I make the face and paws from air dry clay. I've had this clay for a while. I bought it because I'd never seen air dry clay before. You don't need to bake it, it just hardens in the air in about a day. I took my LABUBU sketch, put it under plastic wrap and started sculpting right on top, so I wouldn't mess up the size. Spoiler, he is far from perfect, but he is mine. I'm not a sculpting pro, you know, I prefer figuring things out as I go, but once my friends gave me a clay workshop as a gift. And I remember that you really need to knead the clay well before starting. To make the parts stick together, I scratch them a bit, like this. Then I smooth the edges. I draw the eyes and decided to add more clay around. I also saw in some videos that you can smooth clay with water and brush. So, in the end, it's not perfect, but not too bad either. Now, let's make the paws. I made little holes in them because I wasn't sure how well they would stick to the fabric. I planning to sew them on. The first try, a disaster. Just look at this horror. Second try, well, I'm doing my best. Then I made the feet. Kinda duck-like, but let's move on. Also, I made a crown, a star, and a choker from leftover clay, which I later broke while sanding. So, okay. While the clay was drying, I started working on the fluffy body. You're on the Rock channel, so we're doing what we do best. I like sculpting legs. As usual, I mirrored the sketch and transferred it onto the fabric. I'm using light cotton, by the way. This is gonna be a double-sided keychain, so I also transferred the back. As always, I use the LAVOR punch needle. The star on the belly will be purple, and I adjusted the needle length like this. The body will be black, and here is the yarn I used. For the black yarn and body, I made the needle as long as possible to get big loops. Remember to hold the needle straight, and if you want to know more about my tools and fabric, check out my channel. I started with the outline and then filled it in.
Špijuniro golubiro. Jebeni golub kojeg šalje vlada u javnost da špijunira ljude.
Don't cut the yarn too short. This is the back side and we don't want the loops to fall out. And here is what it looks like from the front. The loops came out in different heights. The back side of our future Lafifi will be just black. Next, I glued the threads so they stay in place. I used this glue, bought it at an art supply store. You need just apply it generously and let it dry. The next day, when the clay was fully dry, I started sanding it with some sandpaper I found at the nearest hardware store. I didn't film the start, but here is a comparison. The first paw and the second. Looks better, I think, if you can even call them paws. Maybe I could have found finer sandpaper, but I didn't feel like going out again. After practicing of the paws, I moved on to sanding the face. Of course, it didn't fix every little mistake, but it started to look much nicer. The rack part is dried too. So now we can safely cut all the loops. Yes, all of them. Don't worry, it's not that bad. Time for LAFUFU's haircut. I trimmed the loops short near the belly star to make it visible. The rest I just event out to make it look neat. It's also a good idea to trim the fur around the face. You can see that I used the pad brush. Works great actually. I didn't cut the edges yet. We will do that later when we glue both halves together. Clean up the mess with a regular vacuum. Look at this bear-like creature, so cute. Let's paint the clay. Off camera, I already added a grey primer, and I kinda like the color, so I left it as is. For this, I was using this acrylic paint for miniatures, but I think any acrylic paint will work. I only painted the eyes and mouth, and maybe priming wasn't even necessary. I suggest starting with light colors, then moving to darker ones. It's easier to fix mistakes that way. And don't worry if the first layer looks pale. It's normal to paint in 2 or 3 light layers. By the way, if you're curious what other figures I paint, check out my Instagram. There is a whole different project with its own character. Try to spot the 10 differences from this Labubu. So, return to the process. I painted the star-shaped eyes pink and the grumpy smile purple. In the process, I also decided to add little stars on the forehead, shiny spots in the eyes, and pink freckles on the cheeks. You can stop here, but I also added a layer of varnish for protection. Now it's time to put everything together. First, I glue the edges of the body. I cut small notches, put on finger protectors, and use my glue gun. I glued close to the edge, then cut off extra fabric after it dries. The hardest part is the tiny corners and sharp turns. This little monster looks so silly, I love it. What would you name it? But if we are not chasing trends, what name would actually fit? Write in comments. Anyway, back to work. I glued it on the face, it barely fit on the hole, oops. Then I added the paws, looks nice. I sewed them on carefully. Since it's fluffy, you won't see the thread on the front side. Don't forget the keychain. I got it and the ribbon from a sewing store. Now we will glue the two halves of the toy together. Don't rush it, better to glue it in small sections. Make sure to apply glue right along the edges, you can be less precise in the middle. press the fabric around the paws really well. It should wrap around them nicely. Almost done. I also added a tiny bit of glue between the sides and press them back. This hides the seam. And now the final trimming. Remember, we saved this step for the end. Trim around the edges to clean it up and bring our little LAFIFI to perfection. I wanted him to have double horns, but somehow he ended up with double ears. Oh well, he's still adorable. That's it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and check out my YouTube and Instagram for more updates. Bye bye!